y'all was finna catch me with my head down. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever today. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, somebody called me. I don't know who calls me. Yeah, they gotta know I don't answer the phone. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are talking about Love is Blind today. This is season two reunion. I had quite a few. I'm not gonna say it's just like we had a lot of discussion in the chat earlier, and I wanted to just bring it to a live discussion. So, because I got a lot to say, and I don't think I'm be able to type it. That ain't just usually what I do. I don't really type a lot of stuff. Well, I do. I do a lot of typing, but this is a lot to type because it was a even though it was a 1 hour reunion, which I really think we could have benefited from. I don't know, two more episodes. It was action packed. That's the best way to say it. It was action packed, and there was a lot to really unpack with this whole situation. And one of the things I had an issue with is Shake can't keep his mouth shut. It's like the oh my goodness, the reunion started with him interrupting the host, and for me, that just lets you know how rude he really is, right? Um, and even Twitter was going off on it. Um, People have been going off on this whole thing, especially when it comes to Shake. And if y'all hadn't seen the show, Shake is one of the he's one of the cast members of this season's Love Is Blind. The premise of the show is they go into these pods and they get to talk to people, and the whole idea is to connect with people um, without the barriers of what you see. Like most people, sight basically, right? So you're only connecting with their voices and who they are as a person. So the essence of them. What's interesting about this, though, is that some people don't actually get it. Like they get into these types of, they get into these um, experiments and they don't really understand what they mean. So like Shake, he's terrible, y'all. He is ethnically, I think Southeast Indian. I don't want to get it wrong, but he's Indian, and he actually connected with someone else that was Indian. And both of them at the beginning of the project said that they've never actually dated anyone of their own ethnicity. They've always dated white people, blonde hair, blue eyed people. And it's very interesting because when you look at them, it's like, wow, okay. But the thing about the girl that he dated, her name is Deep T. The thing that I loved about her was that she's willing to try something different because obviously what was working in their regular lives is not working, and so they're willing to try something new. So for most people, they were able to connect with people over a series of dates. I think it's actually a 10-day experiment where they go into these pods. They can only hear each other through the microphones and speakers that have been planted throughout the room so that they can just hear the conversations and they talk. Um, a lot of them get very deep. They start talking about their home lives, their, how they grew up and everything. And really, once you pull away, work and family and TV and all that kind of stuff, and you just focused in on that person, you can find yourself connecting to people, when you don't have those distractions. So that's what really the premise of the show is about. And at the end of the, I think, 10-day situation, what they'll do is a proposal may happen, right? Because most of these people are looking for, they're looking for a spouse. Most of these people are coming on the show looking for a spouse. So it is a fast process, 10 days where you get to date people basically, and you date everyone in the pod. So it was 15 men, 15 women. So it was, easier for them to, narrow things down. If it's somebody that says something you didn't like, you move on to the next person. You start requesting dates with the people that you really start connecting with. And then after then, a proposal happens. Very simple. And you have the opportunity at that time to accept the proposal or say no. Once you've been proposed to, then that's when everyone meets up. That couple will meet up, and then so they meet up, um, and then they get to see each other and actually present a engagement ring and all these things, and they meet for a few minutes, and then they go back to their separate pods because you have to wait for everyone else to finish the proposals and everything. From there, they are escorted off to what they call a honeymoon. Um, and so they all have a little getaway, and then they get to spend about a week together, get to know each other. It's their life, their rules. They get to do whatever they want to do at that time. Whether they decide to consummate the relationship, it's on them. There are no expectations. All of it is whether they're comfortable enough with it or not. And then from there, they go back to the real world. They move in together into an apartment for a few weeks, and all this is leading up to a wedding. So all of this from the 10 days, this is what about a 2 month situation. If you do if you kind of count up the days, it's probably about 2 month situation. So in that 2 months, they go from meeting a stranger through a wall to living with a stranger to marrying the stranger. So we all know these are all experiments that people go and try in these TV shows and everything. So there was nothing. If you saw the first season, you know how this works. So it wasn't that hard, right? So this guy Shake, he's just, I try to see the benefit, the good in everybody. I really do. But Shake is a veterinarian, and not only was he just awful, but the things that he was saying about women in particular, just not even, her, but just women. He has a specific size of woman he wants to be with. He wants to be able to pick someone up and put them on his shoulder at a concert. And now that doesn't sound bad, but when you start asking women how much they weigh, or if we were at a concert, would I be able to boost you up on my shoulder? And I'm like, by the way, Shake, it don't matter how much they weigh. If you can't pick anybody up, that's on you. A lot of this stuff that he's talking about, and I really don't understand why, like, middle of the road, everybody is not looking for a supermodel. And I get that. And some people are looking for a supermodel, but they should say that, right? But the other thing is when you start putting other people down because they don't fit a certain physical narrative you've decided is important, then, maybe this isn't the show for you. And it was a lot with him. He's very shallow. The girl that he chose, I hate to say girl, the young lady he chose, he's like, wow, she's phenomenal. She's this and she's that, but I'm just not physically attracted to her. I'll give you that. Physical attraction has a lot to do with how your relationship is going to work. But at the same time, if you're saying I'm willing to do what it takes to make this relationship work, right? Then one of the things you need to take yourself out of is thinking that someone's gonna fit the what you normally go for physically. So these different narratives and things that people have, you didn't fit it. Those people didn't fit into those particular parameters, or those people who did fit those parameters, there's still something happened that made it to where you didn't, the relationship didn't last. So maybe you need to look inside yourself, be a little bit more introspective, and decide that you got to make some changes for yourself. You just, he's very shallow. Like I said, he's very shallow. He's veterinarian. Everything he said was just really mean spirited. And here's what I found very interesting, because I read a lot of little outlets and stuff, and there was some people posting on Reddit, and I don't know, I can't necessarily verify if they were actual people who worked on a set, but a lot of people were saying that it was his goal to be the villain, and I believe that because of course, like I said, anything that we read and everything, it's all alleged. But at the same time, I think he really did want to be the villain of the show this season, and he succeeded. he succeeded because um, it is just absolutely crazy um, what what he was doing. Just things that he was saying. He's telling people just like being with my aunt and everything. It was so bad that people on the other cast members were telling Deep T what he said and to be careful. And so it was absolutely insane, crazy, too much. Yeah. Anyway, so it's like the whole. Here's the other thing. I felt like the entire reunion kind of got wrapped up in what went on with Shake as an individual. Not even what happened to them as a couple, because he kept interjecting himself in everybody's story, and it got to the point where you could see. I think I have some slides here. You could actually see that everybody was so annoyed with him when he was talking. There's one right there. Everybody's face, especially on this side of the screen, like every time he opened his mouth, everybody was just super tired of him. Like to the point where you almost lost um focus on what this reunion was supposed to be about, which was supposed to be about six couples. But he kept dominating the conversation and trying to tell people how they felt. And people like, no, I didn't feel that way. Maybe you felt that way, but I didn't feel that way. He was just like, I think everyone goes in, thinking that they're going to get something out of it. And everybody's like, maybe this was your um, motive, was to make this more so a thing for you. This experiment really wasn't about you looking for someone. And he kept trying to explain, like, this is not the premise of the show. And they're like, literally, the premise of the show is about, finding someone and love being blind. And he kept trying to say love is blurry. He's just throwing out his own things. And I don't know. I don't know if Shake has actual friends that hold him accountable for things he say. I don't think he does, because, he was just able to keep talking. I I can't keep talking about him. But out of the six couples, there were six couples that ended up that they. Let me say it like this: there were six couples they highlighted. From what I found out, I think there was actually eight couples who got engaged, but there were six they decided to focus in on, and so it ended up being, of course, Shaking Deep Tea. You had Kyle and Shayna, Shane and Natalie, Sal and Mallory. Then you had Nick and Danielle, and then of course everyone's rooting for um, Ayana and Jared. Those were the six couples. So out of the six couples, two couples ended up actually getting married. Everyone else kind of decided, nah, that's not going to be for me. So that's where we are with that. So the reunion was supposed to be talking about everybody's journey and how they got to where they were and all that kind of stuff, and it just didn't work out. Y'all, I just found a yeah. I just found one of the. I'm actually pulling up things on Instagram as well. See, and this is why people didn't like Shayna. Let me go back. Let me go to Kyle and Shayna. Let me see if I can find any clips of them that I pulled. To be honest, I just didn't want to, highlight certain people because they don't deserve it. If y'all know Shayna, Shayna always looking like she's squinting. I found this online. Because she's always squinting. That's Shayna there. Shayna came in the middle of a relationship between. Actually, she took a proposal. She accepted a proposal from um, Kyle, and then from there, she still was going after Shane, who was engaged or about to propose to Natalie, and so it was a lot of interference happening through this particular show. It was a lot, y'all. It was just a lot. Um, and with her, she was always saying something like, "Oh, this will never work. Your relationship is fake. It's not gonna work," and all this kind of stuff. Um, she accepted a proposal from this guy Kyle, and at first she was good with it. He actually used his mother's engagement ring Most of the time, they use whatever's provided by the show. He used his mom's engagement ring to um, propose to her. And over time, she didn't even stay at the getaway. She wouldn't even stay. She saw him and she jetted. She was like, nope, this is not what I want. And instead of her at that moment just saying this isn't going to work, she tried to come up with other reasons why they couldn't work. So one thing was, her being super Christian and him being atheist. And he said he wasn't necessarily closed off to learning more about religion, but at this point where he is, um, he's kind of settled on being atheist. Um, then she said something. He's been vegan for 9 years. He tried to show her like about his commitment level by eating a piece of steak. Like, there's a lot of weirdness happening here. And instead of her stopping him and just saying this isn't gonna work because I'm actually not even into you like that, she continued for weeks and finally decided that this isn't going to work. But in the meantime, while there is all kind of other stuff happening, they're having, events happen, little group meetings and outings. She would take herself all the way over to Shane and, talk bad about the relationship. She even told Natalie at some point that she got somebody for her if this doesn't work out. And I just saw on Instagram she jumped up on Shake's shoulder, so I guess she fits the weight requirements that Shake has. So Shayna's another awful person. I wish that they really spent time on showing, how awful she was outside of the experiment, because she really was awful. Um, Shane and Natalie had a lot of arguments and they ended up breaking up. It was kind of weird. Again, Shane seemed like he was into Natalie for different reasons, and like they said, different people bring up different things in you when you're in different like relationships and stuff. So he would be with Natalie, and you kind of see a more sincere side with him. But then he would get with Shayna, and the first thing he's asking is, "What are you wearing?" All that kind of stuff. So it was a different type of energy that was brought around. Sal and Mallory. Sal was, baby, that ukulele. Whoo, that ukulele. Sal would play all these songs for Mallory, and she would just tear up. Now, Mallory was Jared's other option. Okay. Jared chose between Mallory and Ayana. This is where Jared lost me. And I had to come back around to it and realize this is a show and these are things that you have to do. He asked Mallory, what would she do if he proposed? And she pretty much said her connection with Sal was stronger. And so he took it real bad. He was crying and everything all over the place. And people were like, I can't believe he's crying all over her. And I'm like, I mean, there's a lot of emotions involved. I wasn't too upset about that. But I also felt like he kind of chose Ayana as a second choice. And then once all the couples met up, he and Mallory got over into a conversation. They were having a lot of conversation about, her being with Sal and the ring not being gold, and he knows that she likes a gold ring. It was a very inappropriate conversation for two people who have just gotten engaged to other people, and it was very inappropriate in the way of the conversation lasted too long, and there were things that shouldn't have been said amongst the two of them, especially when she's like basically telling him, she basically told Jared, this isn't the type of guy I want. But, I don't know, just a few days before she said that she had a stronger connection. So I feel like Mallory was just kind of, weighing and playing too much as well. It was a lot. Y'all, it was just a lot. The thing with Mallory and Sal is that, again, this is one of those relationships that shouldn't have made it to the altar for them to have a no. Um, she, what am I trying to say? she had the opportunity to be with Jared. She turned him down. And then it was seems like as soon as she got with Sal, she was instantly regretful. So, but then also Sal seemed like he had some unfinished business outside of the pods as well. I'm not sure what was happening with them, but it was too much. I do want to say this though. I think I have the picture up. Yes. Let me tell you about the two of them. I'm not a fan of Nick and Vanessa Lachey. I'm not a fan. But this season was probably showed me why they were chosen to be the host of this show. They held people to their they held people's feet to the fire. They were like not letting Shake take over the conversation. When he started talking crazy, they both clapped back. Shake at some point said he wasn't attracted to any woman on that stage but Vanessa, and Nick, promptly got him together. Shake was saying a lot of, ugh. He was just saying a lot of stuff he shouldn't have been saying. And they really held his feet to the fire. They was like, bruh, you're not going to say this. You're not going to say this. You're not going to say this. You're not going to say that. You can't say that. Because he kept trying to put words in people's mouth. Y'all, I'm going to show you. This is everybody sick of him. It's everybody sick of him right now. That's Ayanna and Jared. They were sick of him. Then, let's see. Nick and Danielle. They were sick of him. See that? Everybody had that I'm sick of you face. Let's see. Yep, right there. He talking. Everybody's sick of him. He said something directly about Deepti. Look how she looking. This whole reunion was dominated by him constantly trying to add his 2 cents where no one asked. And a person like that, and I'm glad that people point out you need to go to you need to take yourself to therapy and talk to someone about your narcissism. You need to take yourself, leave these women alone. Like you really think you a prize or something that you want to have. These, like those women were on him, and I really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the fact that the men were saying, nobody felt like you felt, because he was like, we all felt the same way. And everybody was like, nope, you felt like this. Like he was saying everybody was being fake, and that's, and we're all worried about how we're edited. And everybody else was like, not really, if you were, my whole thing is, if you're so worried about what editing is going to do to your reputation, then maybe you should watch what you say. Or just don't go on a show where they're recording you all the time, even when you're whispering. A lot of things that he was doing and saying was about him not holding himself accountable for things that he said to Deepti in her face and to other people about her behind closed doors. Natalie pointed out, we knew everything you said about her on and off camera. And that's a problem when even production is sick of you and they want you to be quiet about something. So we only know a snippet of things that he said. So imagine what else he was saying. I saw somewhere, and again, this is all alleged, but I was reading it. Someone from production said something about he was talking about the loose skin that she had. So here's the thing: Deepti had a conversation with him in the pods about being she was overweight at some point, and she lost like 70 or 80 pounds, somewhere around there. She lost a lot of weight. And so that was one of the things that she opened up about. Then we found out even Shake was overweight at some point. And I don't understand that. He was overweight and he lost a lot of weight. So that's why I'm wondering, how do you have the same lens to say someone's not attractive, someone's not this, someone's not that, and you had the same issues? I don't get that. You're telling me that you can't see how someone is you can't see the inside, where you want people to see you as the person you are inside. I don't understand that. Other thing I don't understand, y'all, is was that one? I'm trying to pull up different slides. So Kyle said this, y'all. Kyle said I should have asked Deepti to marry me. And everybody was like, "What?" And they just kind of glossed over that and went on to the next thing. I didn't even know, and I didn't see this. I didn't know Kyle and Deepti had a connection in the pods because they didn't show that. But I don't know if he said that just to be saying it or if they actually had a connection that wasn't shown. But that would have been interesting to, explore that as well. Like, I want to see what's going on. Y'all make me sad because that could have been a good conversation. Um, I don't want to talk about Shayna anymore because Shayna is. We wanted to hate Shayna the most, but then Shake just came and said, "Hate me more," and so we had to do it. Um, Shake got problems. Let's just be honest. Shane and Natalie. I just want to get back to them real quick. Do I? People be saying stuff, and Shane had some issues on and off camera. Everybody, let me say this in the Twitter streets. In the Twitter streets, there was a lot of people suspecting that Shane was not showing up as himself. He was fueled by outside products that alter his mood. Let me say it that way. Um, and so you could tell that there was something not quite connecting with Shane. Like it seemed like there were moments where he was like this, and then there were other times he was like, like high, like on high octane, and then there were other times that he was like in these low lows, and he was just all over the place. And things that he was saying, when you hear Shane talk, he always sounds like he's running over his own word. He's like tripping over all of his words, which is, um, it sounded like he was on something to kind of make that happen. And that's all I'm gonna say about that because I ain't getting into no troubles saying, but I can only, like I said, only thing I can do is tell you what I've read, and I've read in several places that Shane be doing stuff. You said like he has ADHD. Now I don't think it's ADHD. Mm 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 mm. Shane, Shane like Shane like dipping his fingers and nose and things. That's what they keep saying over here on Twitter. I'm actually pulling up on Twitter right now. I don't think that's the case, but it does present like that because he's all over the place. But Natalie, to me, just seemed like she was settling for a relationship. I'm not sure how it some of them I just don't didn't understand how they made it that far. Um, it seemed okay, but it just seemed like they were also settling. Let me get back over here to Nick and Danielle though. Let me tell you about them. One thing I'm glad about is that they said they were going to therapy because, baby, Natalie, not Natalie, well, Natalie too. Danielle needs to go to therapy by herself. Now, she had a lot of things going on as well. She used to be overweight. She used to have a lot of other problems and everything. But it seems like every time they had a conversation, her anxiety would take over or something. She would start talking about she's nervous and she's anxious. This is what gives me pause and things like that. They would have like a regular, normal conversation and then suddenly it gets blown out of proportion. And so they were saying that it was over exaggerated on the show. As a person that's watching, I'm like, people can't over exaggerate what you don't give them. This is the thing about editing. They can't edit what you don't give them. And so we were all tired of Danielle because she's just all over the place emotionally. Danielle like costumes. Like she buys costumes just to wear around the house, not like for a particular reason, not even for cosplay reasons or anything. Just and I ain't talking about like dressing up like Sailor Moon type of costumes. Like putting on a wiener costume, you know, ketchup and mustard. Like she works for a fast food place that just needs somebody on the corner to. She still got those. She kept talking about a drum set, and I really thought she was talking about a drum set, but she's talking about like the drum set that you get from what is it's like the Wii drums, the little, I don't know what you call it, like the air guitar and all that stuff. Like that's what she plays with. And so when they were talking about moving things together, he was like, "Can we just find a place to put it?" And she was like, "No, it has to be out in the open." Or like how she likes dancing on tables. She and her friends like to dance on tables and break. It was a lot of stuff that I was just like, Nick, why? Why Nick? Why? But Nick is, there's an 8 year difference between them. So my thing was, I think Nick wanted to be married to someone he could see potential in, and she just wanted to be married. And I think that Nick also is looking for stability, because when we got to see them interact with their families and everything, we realized that Nick, his family support system is virtually non-existent. He has very, like, the people in his family are very negative. They were not really there for him. They, you know, they were. I wouldn't show back up at their house the way they were talking to him. So I think when it came to the two of them, they were just looking to have to bond with someone that was seemed like a more permanent fixture. I felt like her mom was kind of one of those like how you have stage moms, they always pushing them to look a certain way or be a certain way. I felt like her mom was like that. So again, a lot of times people will get together just because they need to bond over trauma. And those doesn't necessarily mean they're together, but it's good to know that they are um, in therapy. I'm glad to know that they're in therapy. So, um, yeah, that's it with them. That's really it with them. Let's see. Let me go back to one of my slides. Like I said, Kyle and um, whatever her name is, Shayna. We talked about them. I'm gonna go back to to Jared and Ayana real quick. And the reason why I want to go back to Jared and Ayana, nope, that's not them. There we are. The reason why I want to go back to Jared and Ayana is because I want to talk about how sometimes you have to kind of work your way through things to decide if this is what you really want, right? Okay, so Jared, like I said, was torn between Ayana and Mallory, and I think he saw Mallory as more so. Now that I look back, I'm going back and I'm looking at things the whole season. I think he saw Mallory as somebody he could kick it with. Like she's like one of the guys or whatever, because she says she's a man's woman, and that always bothers me about some women, because statements like that can be very misogynistic, and that like your internalized misogyny as a woman, you feel like you can hang with the guys, but you really don't have any use for being a friend to a woman, and you are a woman. That's bothersome, because of the fact that if you see that your relationship or your friendship with men seems, or you feel like it's more important than to actually forge real friendships with other women, then what does that say about you as a woman? So I'm always kind of skeptical about, women that's like, yeah, I like to hang with the guys. And I mean, I used to be one of those women that's like, I want to just hang with the guys. There's no drama. But then I had to realize, maybe I'm the drama. Maybe it's me. Maybe I need to reassess how I look at women and femininity and myself as a woman, and how I hold myself accountable, and how I, move in spaces with other women. So that was one thing I had a problem with when it came to Mallory. But Ayana, I wanted to protect her, because she had a lot that happened. She had a lot of trauma happening in her life. She was adopted at the age of 22 by a couple. that she met at 18. And I think that's really important because you always want somewhere to belong. So it doesn't matter how old you are, because people wondering why would they adopt her. People, especially if you've been in the foster system all your life, and people like that, some people just want a place to belong. They just need to know they have a family somewhere. So I think it was really awesome for those that couple to adopt her, in essence, as their child. I also think she had been through several traumatic incidences throughout her life that she shared with him. He had been through a traumatic incident because he had a friend that actually stabbed him. You know how mad you gotta be, or do you know what kind of person you gotta be to stab someone? Because it's one thing to shoot somebody because you can do that from across the room. In order to stab somebody, you gotta be up on them. So he actually had a friend that stabbed him, and he was in the ICU, and that made him realize that he wanted and needed um, some permanency in relationship. And so everybody was like, well, he just, and I was one of, he just wants somebody to, take care of him when he's sick. But I think at the end of the day, when you are facing, your own mortality, you realize what you haven't accomplished, you realize what you would like and need. You start looking for those things because you realize you may not have as much time as you thought. So I think that this was a chance for him to evolve. This whole process was an evolution for him. And let me say this: once he was finished with that conversation with that girl, with Mallory at the where everybody met, I think he was pretty done and pretty locked into Ayana. I really do. I believe he was locked into her after that. I'm going to always hold the party people a little bit more accountable because they operate differently from other people. They've been used to kind of being out, being social, hanging out, not necessarily having any rules to operate by. But it seemed like once, it took a minute, but I feel like he started to really understand that things needed to change in the way that he needed to be more so of a spouse, or just at least a reliable person. He just hasn't had a need to be that reliable or consider someone else's feelings before. I also say, and I've been saying this for a minute, I think that of all the couples, when you're looking at, support systems and everything, I think Jared and Ayana are going to be okay. And the only reason why I say that is because Jared's parents seem to be all in for him, you know? And when I'm saying all in, that it was different as far as, like what just went down, like how you come home with a whole fiance, we didn't even know you were dating anybody. But then once they got past that point, they were like, okay, so you are here, hey, we're gonna bring you in, you've part of faith, now you our daughter, this and that, please. His dad's a pastor or minister. His dad's a minister, and the dad was actually the one that officiated their wedding. Her people held his feet to the fire because she said, what did you like about my daughter? And he said her resilience, and she was like, okay, so and that's saying that someone's resilience is what draw you to them is good, but also bad, because when you it's almost like, well, she'll be able to put up with anything that I throw at her. Resilience can be a good thing. It can also be an indicator that you're not going to try very hard to make sure that they're not experiencing traumatic situations, but you know they can come out of them, and be okay. And that's where I have a problem. Don't be trying to test me and see how resilient I am, and how, I don't want to be Grace under fire no more. I'm be somebody else under fire. You bring fire to me, I'm bring fire back to you. I'm not gonna be graceful at all. So I think that you have to be careful with those types of things. Um, Also, him going out to Taco Tuesday. I don't. First of all, I don't know what he does for a living. I don't know what time he goes to work and everything. Some people have traditional jobs. Some people have non-traditional situations, and all that's fine. I don't care what you do. But to go out 3 days a week, you go out 3 nights a week. You go out 3 nights a week. Three of them, 3 nights a week. So he goes out 3 nights a week. That's what he's been used to. And she was like, "You're gonna have to cut that down," because then we found out he go 3 nights a week, and then he may come home 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So how are you functioning? And we're not talking about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, anything like that, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He's going out in the middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever the spirit hit him, he's going out. So that was where I was gonna have issues with him. Like, you got to cut that back. That's not a weekly thing anymore. When you hanging out like that, that's weekends, couple of times a month. When you have someone at home, when you have a spouse at home, when you have kids at home, things like that, you really got to cut that down. You can hang out with the boys. No one's saying don't hang out with the boys. What we're saying is you have to consider the people that you signed up to be responsible for at that time. That's why I was having an issue. Um, you said when I was around his age, I went out a lot and I came in whenever I gave him grace with that. I don't think the problem was him going out. I think the problem is once you have a person at home that's already expressed, this isn't a thing I would do, but I also would like to have that time to spend with you. It's time to switch that back to, okay, I got to cut back. Because I think all of us, when we were younger, could hang out and stuff. But once you start bringing in other people, either bring in a spouse or you bring in kids, you have to make those shifts. And so with her saying, I don't really do these things, how do you continue to do the same thing and think it's okay, and then say, well, once I get married I'll make the change? But you're getting married, so it's time to start making those changes as you approach your wedding day. You said, but how is he functioning at work? Probably not. I hope he has a job where he works later, 12 to something. Well, I guess he can't if he going out and but maybe he has a type of work that he doesn't have to report every day. Maybe it's, I can't remember what he does, but he rattled off about 15 things that he do. So I'm not really sure, And let me be honest, I know a lot of people that was going out and not functioning at their jobs and stuff, but they were working in education. So it just depends. It just depends. But people like that who have been used to going out all the time, number one, they don't see no problem with it. Number two, they have found coping mechanisms. They sleep for an hour or two. Um, I always say you can point them people out that go out a lot because they always mellow. They be like, yeah, what's up? Y'all going? It's because they ain't even there. They not even seeing what's going on. So I think that that was one of my biggest issues. And she's very introverted. It's funny because she's like, I like to sit down and read a book. And I was like, I don't know the last time I was able to read a book, because every time I get ready to sit down and read a book, when you have 8,479.8 kids, it's really hard to carve out time. So I was actually jealous that she had time to sit down and quietly read a book, because I probably had two toddlers the last time I was able to read a book, and so that was like early 2000s. So I'm trying to get back to that. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but anyway. So my throat a mess. That was my thing with them. I think everybody's rooting for Jared and Ayana. I also think people are rooting for them to not make it, because a lot of us was like, Jared seemed like he kind of a womanizer, and everybody felt like Ayana deserves better. And I would say that, but then I always say people get what they think they deserve. People will accept or attract what they believe they deserve. And so with that, you get exactly what you um, ask for. So if you don't feel like you deserve, you know, whatever, you're gonna go exactly, right to where you are. I'm gonna go ahead and share her. Let me see if I can share her page real quick. Share this screen. Not that. Let's do this. Yes. So this is something that she posted the other day. Actually yesterday, 21 hours ago. Let me make it bigger. Um, and it says, I took a huge leap of faith on a cliff in this experiment, but with you I can fly. I love you more than the world could imagine. I look forward to our now and finally public lives together. My baby, my love, my man, my protector, my partner, my other half. I love you. Insert corny quote. Truly, love is truly blind, not blurry. So this is really cute. You see Salvador and Deepti. Um, Salvador and Deepti actually made some comments. You need the link. All right. Also, for the rest of you, if you want to jump in um, on the anybody want to jump in and say anything real quick, I will message you. Message me and I'll drop the link to you. Hey, Faith, message me so I can drop the link directly to you because I can't see your inbox right now. But yeah, so I mean, I think they can make it. Let me put this up here. She said, I think they can make it. My dad is a super introvert and my mom is out in the streets being an extrovert. They've been married for over 40 years. I think that a lot of times what happens is you have to have balance, right? The funny thing about me, and my husband, right? Everybody think I'm the extrovert because you see me on, like, I don't have a problem with I love talking to a camera because there's actually not an actual person involved. Um, I'm a friendly introvert. I can turn it on, I can do whatever, but at the core of my spirit and my soul, I'm an introvert. My husband is a shy extrovert. He loves being around people. He loves interaction. He loves all of that stuff. I get tired being around people. I have to recharge. I need a couple of hours. I have my allotted amount of time. If I say I'm gonna be out for 90 minutes, at minute 59, I'm already like, all right, whatever. And so that's where I am. If I say 90 minutes though, once I'm at 80 something, I'm already shutting down. If I'm out longer than what I said I was, then you see everything just my face is like, and folks be like, "What's wrong?" Nothing. I'm just my social battery just died out in public. I gotta go. I don't want to do this no more. And that's how I am. And so it's funny because we need that balance. Whereas he'll be like, "Come on, let's go shopping." I'm like, "We can do it online." Can we just pick it up? We can't pick it up. And he be like, "No, let's get out here. Let's do the things." A family event. I'm like, "Let's not and say we did." And he's like, "No, let's go see the family." I'm like, "What family? We got a family right here." And so you need those balances. That's what I'm saying. You have to have um, a balance of people. It's really funny because, like I said, most people think that I'm an extrovert and he's an introvert because he doesn't do a lot of stuff on social media. But he's very much a social butterfly. I am not. I'm like, I like the people I like that I already know. And then when you bring a new person to me, I look like a WB frog. It's just crazy. But yeah, like I said, put a camera in front of me and put some words in front of me. I can say them all day long. I can do this all day long. Put a new person in my face, I will not say anything. That's how it works. It's how it works. You said, I want to know what happened between Sal and Mallory. You know, Sal is so nice, but he be killing. This is what I have. This thing. You can only be a gentleman for so long. We gonna find out what happened. Um, yeah. Faith, check your inbox. Um, yo, Sal. won't tell us the tea. But this is what I think happened. I think he caught her, and this is all me making stuff up in my mind because I watch too many soaps and stuff. I think what had happened was he may have caught her trying to text Jared or something like that, or she's done something else with someone else that he caught on to, or said something. Um, because at first everybody was like, um, it was probably him. She was him with this ex girlfriend that he told her about, but this ex that showed up, and he said once. So this is the thing. She had this thing. She was super mad at him, and it was because an ex popped up at his sister's house. It was someone that he dated while he was going through the process of Love Is Blind. They told them though to continue what they were doing. Go date who you gonna date because it's gonna be at least a year before we can get you in the pods or whatever. So he did that. But once he got to a certain point, he broke up with this girl, and it shouldn't have been an issue. And so she popped up at his sister's house, and that became a problem. So
She
I don't
popped
know.
up
What's
at
up,
his
Faith?
sister's house, and
Ooh, I
that
hear
became
myself.
a
Let me
problem.
hush.
So,
We got Faith here.
hold on.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
She can't hear us. I hear you.
You hear me? Okay, I can hear.
Yeah, I hear you, but I just heard an echo.
I just turned my phone off because I
Oh,
was
okay.
watching on my phone.
Oh, okay. Well, at
Okay.
least you was watching. Thank you for
Yeah, I was
joining.
watching. I said I'm trying to make it back to the house. I look a mess. I ain't had no time to put nothing on my face, but it's all good.
Good,
These
that's
folk made
okay.
me
I
mad.
just be chiseling my face at this point. I'm like, look,
um,
good. You can talk while I sip my tea, but
I got you. I agree with you though. I think something more happened. He don't want to say what it is, but I feel like something more happened that they're not saying, and I think it's on her part, and I think he's trying to save face. I don't know how else to break that down. I was like, she done did something else, and it might not have been with Jared because it seemed like although Lil Mama is introverted, it seems like she ain't going. She ain't going.
but you're right because she said a couple of times. She'd already told him a couple of times this ain't gonna work. I don't believe in folks being friends with their exes. Now I'm on the fence about that. I'm a little older, but she's 20 something, so
Yeah.
she don't believe in exes. She's like your ex for a reason. Um, but she seemed like the kind like I ain't gonna tell you no more.
Right.
Don't play with me. And she looked like she might carry a razor blade under her tongue. I'm just
She
saying.
might. She might. I don't know. You know, them quiet ones will cut you. They'll cut
That's
you.
what I'm saying.
They'll
So
cut you.
she seemed like she liked it initially, and then she was wore out. You know what? I think that everybody like and you're right about this because I'm put the statement back up because think about this. They're on a high, right?
Yep.
They're on this high of, ooh, I just got engaged. I just got on the show, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then it seemed like once that initial few hours wear off, they're like, I don't even like you. But I just think Mallory is shady.
Yeah, that whole look. I didn't like the so everybody I was mad at. You probably went over all these people. I was mad at Lil Mama who tried to be Jessica 2.0. I was upset with her. Like, ma'am, you didn't accepted this man's proposal, and you gonna go try to get on Shane. I didn't like that. I didn't like the conversation Jared had with Mallory. I that was totally completely out of order. I hate
Mm-hmm.
Shake. I'm gonna say this again. I hate Shake. Okay, I hate him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just it was a lot of. I can't get with you. Let me get with you because you just the second best choice. And I didn't like how the whole situation with Jerry Mal and what's the baby name?
Ayana.
Ayana. That was
Mm-hmm.
not cool. That
No.
wasn't cool at all. And then I really felt like the only reason why he proposed to her was because that girl said no. that's that's
Yeah.
that's what I feel. I
I
stand behind it. I feel
and
like
I
that.
believe that though. I think that had he actually, this is the other thing though. I don't. I think in his heart of hearts, he knew he didn't need to propose to Mallory, and
Yeah.
I feel like he needed to have the conversation of her turning him down
So
so
he can
that
make that
he could
final
get
decision.
clarity on Ayana because he's always said they had a stronger connection.
Yeah.
But this is typical dudes for you. Let me tell you, this is typical because a lot of them will go against their um,
Good feeling.
natural intuition to go
Mm-hmm.
with the fun person,
Mm-hmm.
not the stable person. They will pick fun over stability when they're
Yeah.
younger,
Yeah.
right? When they get older, they want stability because they done got old and they can't go out there and do the stuff. That's when they want
Mm-hmm.
to settle down with somebody. And a lot, and I ain't gonna say that's all men, but
But a lot of them, yeah.
a lot of them will do that because it's like, oh, was she fun? You know, we can still go out clubbing and this and that and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And I want to do that. But then when they get older, they realize there's no substance to the relationship, and now they going out there looking for some substance. But you still ain't let that other relationship go and all that. You know,
Oh
he
God.
said Shake is crazy. However, he was saying some real stuff about trying to stay on TV. Okay, let me break this Shake thing down. Yeah, I wish I could. No, I'm not gonna do it. Wait a minute, I might. So on Twitter, because that's where listen. If y'all looking for the receipts to any reality show where people just don't give a damn,
They on Twitter. They are on Twitter.
it's on Twitter. All the receipts be on Twitter,
Twitter and
including
Instagram,
phone
but
numbers,
mainly Twitter.
addresses, everything.
Yeah.
They don't care on Twitter. They be like, oh, well, I met him in 1945, and this is a screenshot of our conversation. Like, people don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And to be real and verified, that's what be getting me like, dang. Because I ain't got that in me. And sometimes I wish I was messy like that, but I'm just not a messy person. Like I don't want to be in the middle of nothing. I just want to read
No.
about it.
Mm-mm.
Um, yeah, but so here's the thing with Shake. Shake had been talking to people in production, and this is, I'm gonna say again, allegedly, because
Mm-hmm.
these were receipts posted by someone who was on Reddit talking to a person of production. So they hid their person's name and everything
Right.
because we don't want them to get in trouble. But Shake had been talking to production, other castmates, everything about being the villain, and also saying a lot of disparaging things about Deepti, her body, what she looked like. She must be a medical anomaly. She needs to talk to the doctors about her loose skin, things like that. Like, it got to be so bad that at the wedding, you know how they supposed to do the nose and everything. And I think everybody
Mm-hmm.
knew that they were not going to say I do. But it was so bad. Production hated him so much that they told Deepti that she had to be the one to say I don't. And a lot of the things that he was saying, that's how bad it was. And then if you go on his Instagram page, he kind of relishes in the fact that he's like a
The
bad guy. Like, he
asshole.
loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it.
He likes being an asshole. He really
Yeah,
does.
he does.
And
And
then the fact that he had an opinion on everybody else's situation, I was like, sir,
except his. He ain't have an opinion on
he
his. He
was
ain't have
real
nothing to
quiet
say
when it
about his.
came to deep tea.
Mm-hmm. Deepty was over there looking like, babe, I'm living my best life. What you talking about?
Yeah.
This is the face for me. This was the face for me. When he was talking, that was the face for me. She's like, boy, be quiet.
All of them were
Peace yourself
looking,
quiet.
they were looking at him like he was crazy the whole time. And I really felt like Shane was gonna slap him. I
Yeah.
was like, at any moment, Shane, I'm with it. Let's make this happen.
I was
I'm
like,
for
this
it.
could be a real reunion where some
Yeah.
shoes and you know, fur and whatever else is flying.
Yes.
We can make that happen. Um, it's just crazy though because he seemed, and like I said, that the picture that I put up for my for the thumbnail, the way that Nick Lachey looked at him when he was like, you know, he only attracted to Vanessa. Nick Lachey was fixed to get up on that ass. I don't care what
Yeah.
y'all
I
say.
just really feel like
He had
somebody
to
should
take
have
a
just
beating.
slapped him one good time.
Just anybody,
When
anybody.
your own parents is like, dude, you with the shit.
When your mama like, I don't even know why
Why
you
you did
thought this is a
this?
good idea
Oh
for
my
you to marry
goodness.
anybody. When your mama ain't in your corner, you need to think about some things. So he's on Instagram also talking about, so once he took on the I'm the villain role and he realized it's really backfiring because nobody's standing up for him. Now he's
Yeah.
like, hey guys, I'm working to be a better person. Can you leave me some tips? You know, what I can be doing to make myself more aware. I'm like,
Go
go
to
to
therapy.
therapy and maybe shut up.
Go to therapy and keep your mouth closed.
Yeah. Funny. Funny during the show, Deepy was into it, but at the reunion, she supposedly knew all along that he was a jackass. But the reason why is because
She
production
wouldn't have
had to
known
pull her to
had
the
other
side.
people hadn't come and said anything to her. Because I think, can I just say real quick, just a little sidebar. Nick is a queen, and
Y'all gonna leave Nick alone,
baby, Nick got all the tea. He know everybody business. Nick is
baby. He
a
is
queen.
messy, Bessie. You hear me?
Yes. But
If you want
if
to
they
know the
had,
tea, call Nick.
yes, he is such a queen. Oh my god, I was like,
I love it. Look, he was always like, "Let me tell you what happened."
right, you getting this hold on, let me pour this tea real quick. Hold on,
Right. Let me
pause.
listen.
Let's sit down, cause. But I think had they not told her, she would have. I don't think she would have known.
And I
Um,
was reading a couple of articles too, and she was at a point where she was saying, you know, I was willing to make concessions and do whatever it took to make things happen because he wasn't saying the things to her. A lot of
no,
things he was saying to other people.
yeah,
But then when it got to the point where people were coming back to her, like Jared and Shane was like, "Hey, keep your eyes open because this guy is saying all this stuff." That's when you start to see that shift with her because
mm-hmm,
she was all in till she wasn't, and then she
yeah,
was like, "All right, well, you know, we here now." And from what I understand, the way that they do it with the U.S. is once you make it to a certain point, you have to make it to the wedding. Whereas
yeah,
I watched Brazil and um, Japan, and them people were dropping out like flies. They were like, nope, nope, nope.
yeah,
Japan had two couples, but they were the only two couples that actually, well, they had three couples that went to wedding day, but
mm-hmm.
only two couples that actually made it to the altar. So, US is different from the other Love is Blind because I guess once you make it to like the dress fitting, then you have to continue with it regardless of what's happening. Because what we also found out was that Shane and Natalie been fighting since they moved in together.
Yeah,
And so they had to continue because, you know, you
yeah,
have to, once you make it to a certain point, you got to keep going. So,
yeah.
yeah, and I think that's the thing I feel like needs to change when it
I don't know
comes to
why
like
American
our
shows are
shows.
like that.
Yeah, because even like with, you know, Married at First Sight, somebody done cuss you out, call you out your name. You
And I
got to
gotta
stay to
stay.
decision day,
No, no, no,
you
no, no,
know?
no. Won't do that. I like how they do in Australia. That's what
Australia be off
I
the chain.
but I like how they do it because they each week to week they have to make a decision as to whether or not they're gonna stay together. And
Yeah.
I wish they would do Married at First Sight like that because it's getting ridiculous over there. But that's a different show for a different time.
Yeah, that's definitely we have to definitely talk about that at a different time. I want to switch gears for 2 seconds because I know I was supposed to be, getting my butt off of here. Because I said 1 hour. I always say 1 hour, and
I always
then
go over.
Faith jumps her butt on
I'm
because
sorry.
now I want to continue
I
to talk.
I hadn't been on here in a while. I said, let me jump on.
This is how you do me, though. This is fine. It's fine. This is how you do me. Um,
Yep.
One of the things I do want to talk about, and I know this ain't even talk about the other thing. I feel like I want to come back on and talk about them Doricos because I
Oh,
think
who?
it's
Hold on. Say that one more
super.
time.
The Doricos,
Okay.
the one with the 15 cheer,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
14.
Yeah.
We need. I definitely think that we need to talk about them, but not on this post. But
Yeah. I'm fine. I gotta go watch it later on, but other than that, I'm here. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I'm just like, bruh.
I
And
need
I
them to
can't.
stop
I
having.
always tell people I can't tell people how many kids to have because there's no right or wrong number for that. But I think that when you have to start considering that, you know, people's quality of life, your children's quality of life, and I ain't talking about them being a bunch of kids, but the actual quality of the
Yeah,
baby's life when you are carrying it. And
yeah,
now you're starting to come into developmental issues and physical issues, and your
yeah.
mama that help you take care of the babies. Um, her health is being affected, and you keep doing stuff and expecting that everybody around you can drop whatever they're
Supposed to
doing
help
for that.
you.
Yeah, that's a problem. So I do think we need to get into that, but not this post. But
No,
yes, this show was crazy. And
it
here's
was.
the other thing: I'm gonna give a big props to Vanessa because Vanessa Lachey, she done cuss Shake out so quick.
She did.
She
She said,
said,
"We're gonna
"Boo,
move on, cause
right, because this right here ain't finna work. This right here, I have to keep pulling up these slides because of the fact that every time he says something, this is everybody's face. Everybody's so sick of Shake.
they
Sick
sick of his
of him.
shit."
Because it don't make sense to be like that. I keep doing it. It don't
I
make
don't know.
sense to be that way.
I'm like,
Um,
sir, shut up. All you gotta do is shut up. This ain't got nothing to do with you. They
mm-mm.
don't want no parts of it. They don't like you. Just shut
And they keep
up.
saying it, and everybody's saying because he kept going. Well, everyone was trying to make themselves look better on camera, and everybody was like, "No," you know, like everybody's looking at him
Actually,
like, "No, that's not my
no.
experience." Well, nobody actually wants to get married. No, that wasn't true either.
No. Because two people
No,
did get married. So I mean two
yeah.
couples did get
So,
married. So
because he goes, the premise of the show is not to get married. I'm sorry, what? Have you ever seen the show before?
probably. Probably not.
He probably one of them people that just got um, recruited to do the show and actually didn't know what the actual premise of the show was.
I need us to do our research, people. That's what I need to. We're gonna be on
You
the
need
show
to do
now.
so.
Google is a real thing and it's free 99.
Right.
Uh and I feel like you could have just Googled it before you decided to join. He was a jerk from day one though. I
Yeah.
just
When
from day
he
one.
once his first couple of questions were, if we're at a concert, can I lift you up and would I be able to put you on my shoulders? Once he said that, I was just like, I can't believe this dude gonna make it.
I was like, so y'all kept him. This is what y'all decided to do. Is y'all kept him. I don't I don't understand it
I don't get it either.
at
I ain't
all.
like that.
So DT and the other what's the other guy's name? Because he
Kyle.
got no Kyle.
Kyle.
Okay. Do we think something's going on? Are they gonna try to make a go of it?
I don't know. They did such a quick little blurb with them that I think it was worth exploring. Um, like I was saying today earlier, I didn't realize they had a connection.
They didn't
But
show it. It's
right,
a
and
lot
so
that they didn't
now I'm
show.
like, I want to see
I
where
do.
this
And
could
it's two
go.
couples that actually got engaged that they didn't show on on the show at all. They didn't show their
Yeah.
connections or anything.
I think they should do like Japan did. Japan had 7 couples.
Oh, okay.
So I think they chose everybody that got engaged. Everybody got engaged, but they didn't. Everybody didn't make it, of course. But
Right.
it made more sense to see all of them because once they started eliminating, it got down to 3, real easily, and then it got
Yeah.
down to 2 at the altar. We
Yeah.
had Japan. They had 7 couples. By the time the honeymoon was over, one couple was done. She was like, I don't see it. I'm gonna go home.
Mhm.
So that was down to 6 there. Then it
Mhm.
was another couple of couples, and some of them cut out right before they tried on gowns and everything.
Mhm.
And then there was a couple where she felt like the guy was lying to her because he said he was a owner of a restaurant, and she found out his friend actually owned a restaurant, and he just does the cooking, and she was like, this ain't gonna work. um,
Oh.
because you ain't even telling me the truth. You don't even have a plan for yourself, whatever. So about a week out from the wedding, they broke up.
Hmm.
It was another couple where she was like, I don't even feel like you have the emotional maturity to deal with me. Like, every time she said something, he was just kind of like, oh, okay. She was like, my dad was arrested for drug possession, and he was like, I mean, but you get past it. So, like, that was his
He
attitude.
said,
And
"But
she
you
was like,
here."
you know what? You can stay by yourself. And so, because I
He
was like,
said, "But you here
dang.
now." So.
Yeah, that was pretty much how he was. He was like, I mean, but did you die? Like, that was his whole attitude.
Oh
so,
my God.
so they were gone. And then it was down to like another couple, and, they were doing whatever conversation, and she was like, I just don't see it. It ain't gonna work out. Like, the women were breaking it off, and they were just like, nope.
Their culture is a little different than
Yeah,
ours.
very
Um,
different. And
yeah, their
so,
culture is really different.
I feel like they're more empowered to just be like, I'm not going to spend any more time doing this when I ain't got to.
Right.
And so they broke. So it ended up being 3 couples. And on the wedding day, there was one couple, and this is a couple I was hoping from day one didn't make it because she was 30 and he's 56. And I was just like, why do
And
you
he
want to
who?
marry him?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. He how old?
56.
Oh no.
And here's the thing, she's 30 and she looked like she all of 12. So yeah,
Well,
I
he
didn't like
probably
that.
56 and look. Does he look 56?
He looked 70.
Oh damn. Okay. He did the
Uh-huh.
reverse thing that they normally do when they get older. Okay.
Yeah. So he was looking for Um, hold on, wait a minute, y'all. People forget that Mallory said she was bisexual. Wait, I didn't
Hold on.
know
I missed
that.
that. Whoa.
I missed
Come,
that altogether.
come on, Motown Investor. We need more
Listen,
tea,
wait a
honey.
minute. Give us some more tea
Oh
here.
my goodness.
We would get ready to end this. What? So that means a lot of stuff could have went.
Mm, does Mel have a girl on the side then?
Look her up on the Instagram while we talking. I
Right.
didn't realize that, y'all. I didn't. That flew straight over me.
Right on over my head.
Hmm.
Where that?
Mallory.
Where that at?
Cause now, I mean, and I ain't got no issues with
I don't
that,
have an issue with it
but
either, but I just missed
I
that.
can see how that could be problematic because the fact that he's not saying what
Yeah.
happened in their relationship, that could
Right.
be something else that happened that not necessarily she didn't disclose it, but the fact that she may have taken some action towards someone else. And all the time we over here thinking it's
Another
Jared.
dude, and it could
It
actually
could have
be
been
another
Shayna.
woman.
It could have been
Interesting.
Shayna. Oh, I think Mallory's family knows she prefers women. Hmm. Hmm.
So it probably wouldn't have worked with Jared either. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? She may have been looking for someone that would be okay with her bringing someone into the
Into the
relationship.
bedroom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or relationship. Gotcha.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Y'all be just
I did. I missed that one.
I missed that all together. Now I'm finna go back and watch the whole season.
Now, right now, I have to watch it all. Cause, like, what God?
I
How did
want
I
to
miss
watch
that?
the entire season again. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God! Come on, child.
I'm trying to read some of these comments. But
They talking about
yeah.
J Lo vibes.
Yeah, they call her great value J Lo. That's what they've been calling her.
Interesting.
That is crazy. I didn't know that though. Like, thank you
I
for
did not
sharing with us that.
neither.
I don't know that I caught that.
I didn't catch it. That went
I
right on
know
over my head.
I
So
need
now
to
I
go
got to go
back.
watch it all over again. Thanks,
I did a
Motown
better
Investor.
job at watching Japan, and that was with subtitles.
Do they not have the English dub for those? I be wanting to watch them, but I can't.
They have the English dub, but I don't like listening to English voices and looking at people of other ethnicities. I like to
Oh, I
know.
got you.
I need to hear it in their tone. So I'm one of those people. Other people don't care, but I want to hear it in their tone. I need to
Yeah,
look
I
at
need
their
to be able
faces.
to know what they talk about and understand. And I get it. I can read. Maybe I need a bigger TV. I can't see, so that's the
Yeah,
issue. So
yeah.
I have to read, and I have closed captioning on everything on
Mhm.
my TV. Oh, all my
Yeah.
TVs, but I just gotta know what y'all saying. I got to know what it means. I just
Yeah, because I just be reading the subtitle. I be like, what? What? Yeah, I'm over here reading like I'm reading a whole novel. So yeah,
right.
that's how I
Mm,
do it.
yeah.
But yeah, they have the English dubs of them, but I didn't
Okay.
care for it.
I'm gonna have to because I saw the Brazil and I saw the
Baby,
Japan.
Brazil was all that. Like I keep telling folks, listen, let me tell you, Brazil left the cameras in the bedroom.
Oh shucks. Okay. All
I
right.
wasn't ready for it. I was like,
Okay.
oh wow,
Okay.
okay, like that.
Okay. I got
That's
to
a little
look.
bit of a lot. That's a little bit of a lot.
A lot. I got you. I would like to see how that pans out. Look at the Lord. I just okay. All
Yes,
right.
do some talking real quick. I gotta run and open the door for somebody. Hold on.
Oh,
Keep
okay.
talk
Go
about
go
what's your
open the
favorite
door.
part of the show.
Um. So my favorite part of the show. I have a favorite part of the show? I did like I do like that Jared and Ayana did end up together, although I felt like it was dirty how they got there. Um I don't know if Nick and old girl is gonna make it. Although Nick is like I said, Nick is a little queen now. Nick brings the tea to the bedroom. He is the epitome of what they call pillow talk. That's what he does. He is a pillow talker, and I saw that. But I don't know. I'm praying that, and he said they were in therapy. He said they're in
Yeah,
couples therapy. I did hear him mention that. They didn't really delve into their situation either a whole lot. They really featured
because I don't think it's
everybody
really much to
else.
talk about with them.
And huh?
I don't really think it's much to talk about with them.
I mean it ain't, but they gave everybody kind of like their whole little thing and their whole little deal, and they didn't really touch on them like they touched on everybody else. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it's I did not like the fact that they did not show either one of the big girls they had on there. I couldn't
Yeah.
I didn't understand how y'all tried to be more diverse, but not really. So I
Well,
didn't
my
like
thing
that.
with them is how did y'all use that as the advertisement for the new
Right,
cast? And then
right,
we actually didn't see them at all. We saw them a couple
right.
of times in the pods, and then that was it.
That was it. Um, I did like that a couple of the girls had I think the Nick's wife, I don't know why I forget the girl's name. Nick's wife
Danielle,
and huh?
Danielle.
Danielle. Okay. Danielle and Deepti shared how they used to be like really heavy set. They lost weight, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that they were able to be vulnerable enough to share their journey.
Yeah, yeah.
Um but I do think that Danielle has a whole lot of insecurities behind that
Mm-hmm.
because she's probably dated when she was bigger and was probably mistreated in a relationship. maybe not because of that, but all those insecurities come up, especially when you're being vulnerable and going through this. So I hope they keep up therapy. I do, and I hope that she's able to work through her stuff, because I really think that I don't know that she was ready for this experience yet. I do think that they probably need to bring in, and probably not, because it'll probably be too much like Married at First Sight. But I think they probably need to do something or add some type of aspect to it, like some type of counseling or something going
Mm-hmm.
along the way, because there's a lot of emotions that you're dealing with, and you got to kind of work out. Um, I did not. Shane is obnoxious in a butthole, but I get how his little feelings were hurt. He doesn't know how to express himself, and he's dramatic. He's extremely dramatic. So he goes on the deep end
Mm-hmm.
when he gets angry, instead of having a conversation and talking about it and working it out. And I
Right.
think, although Natalie seemed to be one of those ones that's gonna push his buttons, I also think that Natalie probably was that balance that he needed. He just didn't like it. He didn't like the truth. He didn't like the mirror reflection. Hey, this is what you're doing, and this ain't cool. And so I think she just didn't want to put up with all the fighting and stuff and going back and forth, and him not willing to change his behavior, what he was doing. I didn't like, he kept saying he wasn't gonna play the victim, but then when they were talking, and Natalie clearly said, we have a communication issue and we needed to work on our communication. He was
Mm-hmm.
hell bent on, okay, so you just gonna make it seem like it was all my fault. I was like, bruh, get your panties out of a bunch. Uh
Right.
get your panties out of a bunch. She said we. I don't think you're listening. I think you're just hurt. And that's fine to be hurt,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to listen. And I think they actually could have worked out if they had have just dealt with their communication a little bit better. That's
Yeah.
just my thought process. Shayna and Kyle, I knew that wasn't gonna work when, we all knew that was what it was. And her pretending, and them little squinty eyes, she squinted my eyes. I was like, girl, what are you doing? That's not cute.
Yeah.
Stop. But she
Yeah.
seemed real shady like the whole time. I couldn't get behind it. And I think the only reason why she approached Shane was because Natalie was excited, and hearing Natalie say what because they talking about it. It was like, well, how did you feel that she wasn't bragging about it. All of y'all were talking about your experiences with the guys in the pod. Don't do
Yeah.
that. Don't put that on her. Like, y'all all talking about it.
It was just too
Y'all,
much because I just think sometimes you can tell people just looking for a reason to not be with somebody, and really a lot
yeah,
of times it's just, hey, this ain't working out, and I don't want to do it no more.
yeah, yeah. So I didn't think that, and although maybe I think she not maybe she solidified her spot is continuing on the show. But I do like the fact that she actually had left the honeymoon. She wasn't like Jessica was last season. Jessica stayed for
Mm-hmm.
the honeymoon and the whole nine.
Yeah.
Uh, so she could get that camera time. Whereas that's not what she did. She went on and went to the house. So I did like that she did that, but she was still
Yeah.
being shady. At the
Yep.
end of the day,
Yep.
she was still being shady.
Still shady. I think her whole thing was. I don't even think she wanted Shane. I just think the problem was, um, so Shayna's family. You could tell they kept bringing up loving your country. They had a lot of those little buzzwords that let you know they're probably Trumpers. Um, And I think that when she saw that Shane was into Natalie, she wanted to find a way to break them up because she thinks she looks better than Natalie. That's
Yeah,
number one. And that she deserves whatever she wants. But one of the things that I was looking at is because she's blonde haired, blue eyed, and Natalie is Asian,
right.
that's why she was doing what she was doing. You
Yeah,
can't convince me otherwise
yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that. Um,
because she's supposed to be
I
the standard.
yeah, I feel bad for Sal because he's really sweet. Out there darn singing though,
I don't
boy.
feel sad for that ukulele. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna bust that thing up if I see him with another ukulele.
You said say that one more time.
That ukulele he kept bringing out, I'm gonna bust it up.
Yeah, I I
Valerie.
I I got tired of the ukulele and the singing. I know that's what you majored in school, bro, but I just everything didn't have to be no song, and I just felt like we was on Broadway the whole time. I'm just yeah. I was like, this is not the West Side Story, my guy. I'm gonna need you to stop. Like, like
Like,
stop.
this
It was
is
a lot.
not a Disney rendition of anything. Please
This is
stop
not
it.
Aladdin. This is not a whole new world. Like, I need you to like stop with all this singing.
I don't
Uh
know how you had so many songs on just right there ready to go.
he was ready, baby. He was ready. He said, you got to be ready so you won't have to stay ready. And he was ready each and every time.
Oh
I
my
was like,
goodness.
okay, you finna sing again.
He
Sound,
finna sing
stop.
again. He's like, watch. Watch me. Watch it happen. Like, oh, you can't come up with a song? Hold my beer.
Hold
And
on.
so,
Right. I got you. I got you. Let me get this ukulele out.
like, we
I
ain't finna
just,
do this
yeah.
reggae style. We ain't doing this. But I
Yeah.
do agree with you. I think moving forward, they need to bring in some experts at different stages of the experiment
Yeah.
and just allow these people to kind of work it out. One of the things that we were talking about last night when we were watching it was um, how if some of them had two choices, right? Like look at some of them who had more than one choice and all of
Right.
them ended up being engaged.
Right.
And then there's a lot of emotions that happen when everyone sees each other for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they need to take a beat before introducing all the couples, especially if they know that if production knows that this person here was torn between these two people and now everybody's engaged, all the people that they were involved with is engaged,
Right.
they either need to take a beat as far as allowing the couples to kind of be together for a week or two, a week or so before everybody meet up,
Yeah.
because of course the what ifs are going to creep in because y'all never
Mm-hmm.
saw each other, right?
Yeah.
So I think that is, people keep ordering food and they ain't ordering none for me. Anyway, that I think they need to do something with that because some of these people need to get out those extra emotions that they have. Not that that's
Yeah.
going to change their mind, but you need a little bit of closure. I think everybody
Right.
wants a little bit of closure.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is they do need to talk to people outside of their family that understand the process. I think it'd be good to bring in somebody like Lauren and Cameron now
Yeah. Yeah.
because they've been through it and they could help them navigate it. And
Right.
so I
Even
think,
even Barnett and Amber,
yeah,
especially with that love triangle situation. Oh
right.
Lord.
Yep.
Yeah, if they have some past couples, and I think that would be cool if they're able to do that, and
Yeah.
maybe they can come back and say, hey, look, this is what we went through, kind of answer their questions.
Right. Tell them how to navigate it for real. Like sometimes it's more so of a what just how do I deal with this?
Yeah.
And they can give them the insight to say, well, because at this point now we're 2 seasons in. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting the next season there's going to be some changes as to how they approach it. I'm hearing that the third season is already recorded and be ready to go pretty soon.
Probably because the
Um,
only reason why we got this delay was due to COVID. So
yeah. So I think the third season is pretty much ready to go, and I'm waiting to see what's going to be how that's going to play out. But I definitely would like to see just a little bit more so of the people, some off, just some counseling, like you said. But also, I need them to steal this idea that they got that Japan did, which is they had a little cubby that was in the room.
mhm,
They had these cubbies that were next to each other. So like somebody wanted to, do a handwritten note or whatever,
mhm.
they would let them drop a little handwritten note, in the little cubby. So they'd be like, "I got something for you," and they sit it in the little cubby, close the door, and then the
Oh,
other person can grab, And so it wasn't like production
yeah.
being a part of it. And so I think the only thing they couldn't do was like send pictures and stuff. But
Right.
other than that, they could do like notes. They could do flowers. They could send like all these little trinkets
Yeah.
and stuff. And I thought that helped them to connect as well because they were like, "Oh, I have something from you right now. You know, open it, read it, and all that kind of stuff." That's how White
Yeah.
Girl broke up with her boyfriend on there too. But anyway,
I don't like you. Here you go. Slip.
she was like, "I
Oh,
wrote a note," and she was like, "Here is it the thing." And he pulled out. He was reading it, and she was like, "I'm sorry." Then she,
oh Lord. I would have yeah, I'm gonna have to watch these other renditions
you
of this
got to
show,
watch.
cause
You have to watch them because they don't care. But when I say they don't care,
wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it. But yeah, I think they do need to do that. I know they're able in an American version, they're able to get production to put things in the room prior to.
yeah.
But that's about it. So yeah, I think it would be cool if they were able to drop little notes and that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Um, that would be cool.
Yeah, I think that was good. So overall, how would you what would you rate this the
I'm gonna go
season
with it.
number 1 and number 2 the reunion?
Okay, so number one, the season, I'm gonna give the season probably about a 7.5. That's what I'll do. The reunion, I'm gonna give it about the same.
Okay.
I although they didn't delve into a lot as far as basically it was a let me cuss shake out real quick reunion because
Yep, yep.
he wouldn't keep his mouth closed. But I'll give it a 7.5. I really like the first season a whole lot better
Mhm.
than this second season. And I feel like if they're going to be diverse, if they're going to show some diversity, they need to go all in with the diversity.
Absolutely.
And they don't need to half step with that at all. So
I agree with that.
yeah.
I absolutely agree with that. Oh, wait, wait. It said yes, she played Truth or Dare in the pot and
Who
it
did she
really
play? Did
turns
she play
out
Truth or Dare with
I
Jared?
really need to go
Now
and
I have to go
look.
back. Was
What
this with
episode?
Jared?
I need an episode number where I will go and watch this whole thing. You know,
I
I
will
don't
watch
care. I
the
will
whole
watch the
season looking
entire
for this.
season
I
again.
feel like her and Jared played Truth or Dare. I got a feeling that they did, but
Oh
I
my
don't want to
goodness.
be wrong. I feel like they played Truth or Dare. That's
That is
interesting.
crazy. Hmm.
All this tea.
I can't
All this
believe I
tea.
missed it. This is where I'm mad at myself because I watched
I
and I
know. And
listened.
here's the thing. So because I watch so much TV,
Hmm.
I fell asleep, so I had to go back. Okay, this episode I left off on. I just rewatch that whole episode. I don't try to go to the spot I left off on. I just rewatch the whole episode. And I don't remember that. But girl, I'm gonna have to go watch. You know what episode? Tell us now. Or else
You
we
know, I'm
going
trying to
back and
pull
watching
this
the
up.
whole
I'm trying
thing.
to. I don't went and Googled so I can pull up the episode.
Oh
Because
God.
I'm over here like, oh my goodness. Let's see.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, once I find it, we got to talk about it. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think I will rate both of them. I think I give both of them about a 7. And really with the reunion, I was disappointed that it was only about an hour. I think that we could have benefited from a second
Part.
episode or second part to the
Yeah.
reunion, only because so much time was devoted to Shake interrupting, and I don't think a lot was
Yeah.
able to be covered. Now, what I can appreciate about a reunion on Netflix is that there is no commercial break, so the
Oh
awkward
yeah.
silences are awesome. Because when
Yeah.
everybody's staring at you and like, I can't believe you said that. That's just what it is. You know, it's just awkward. And
Yeah.
so I can appreciate that. But I do think that we needed more when it came to finding out about these other relationships. We didn't hear that much about Nick and Danielle because I really wanted them to really talk more about you know what made you decide that you were gonna marry this girl even though she crazy.
Yeah.
Um, then I wanted to see more about those other relationships that were explored but not necessarily brought to fruition. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got the two married couples, we get them, but the folks that's not married, I wanted to see more about how they stuff fell apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. I think that you know and of course we're still in the beginning stages and everything, but I think that once we they're gonna get their footing in about season 3 or 4, and I think things will start changing to where it's more so of a, you know, this is how it's gonna be, and we're bringing in some extra help. So I don't
I
know.
hope so.
We may be able to do it.
I hope so.
Let's see. Let's see.
Definitely hope so.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that seemed like it's it because there
that's
ain't nothing
all,
else to talk about.
all right. Well, we look. Just let me know when you're getting back on. I'm here. Like I said, until I go wash clothes, I'm right here.
Not till you wash your clothes. Yeah, I guess we'll talk off the record. But yeah, we enjoyed. Thank y'all for watching us. We've been acting crazy. Uh, we extended it for an additional 30 minutes because Faith needs some things.
I
She
had to
needs to
come
get some
on.
things
Yes,
off
something
her.
wrong with me.
It's alright though. That's why we love you. That's why we do this. But thank y'all for watching. We sure appreciate y'all. And we'll see